just under a month on from our AFF Suzuki Cup triumph, it was time to head to our first continental competition in this save, the Asian Cup. But not only that, we've also got a bonus competition coming up at the end of this episode and a chance for you to win a copy of FM23 courtesy of Fanatical, so stick around for that. The group stage draw took place during the AFF Cup and we were put into Group A with Bahrain, UAE and one more time, Vietnam. Vietnam we knew we could beat, having done so twice already in this career. Beyond our Southeast Asian rivals, Bahrain, ranked 95th, perhaps represented our best opportunity for more points, but UAE, ranked 64th, would surely be favourites to top the group. With a full-strength squad available, we would face Bahrain in our opening match, and it did not take us long to seize control of the game, Sui Yong being played through by Birtwistle inside 5 minutes. Birtwistle played the killer ball once again 6 minutes later as Kamaruzaman took the ball home. Kamaruzaman then turned provider himself, playing in Iksan Fandi for number 3 on 17 minutes. The only other action of note would be a Harry Birtwistle sending off, but it mattered not and we were delighted with the 3-0 scoreline. Up next were UAE. We were expecting a tougher game and... well, Selvin, in for the suspended Birtwistle, gave away a penalty early on, which was duly converted. However, just before half-time, Selvin made up for that early error by smashing home a fierce shot after a beautifully timed run. In the second half, the Fandi boys worked together to earn us a 2-1 lead, and indeed a 2-1 win. So 2 wins out of 2, which guaranteed us qualification for the knockout rounds. And with our easiest game, on paper at least, still to come, we had to be confident of topping the group, which we did. A 4-1 victory over Vietnam, giving us top spot in Group A with a 100% win record. So who would we face in a round of 16? A tough-looking challenge in the shape of Kuwait, who... wait, we had of course faced before, picking up a comprehensive 4-1 win and a credible away draw in my first 18 months as Singapore manager. Add in the fact that Kuwait had stumbled into the knockout rounds without even winning a game, and we had to fancy our chances of making the last 8. But were we perhaps too confident? The opening 20 minutes would suggest so, as Al-Rashidi and then Ibrahim gave the Kuwaitis an early 2-goal lead. The sun came out in the second half and our chances started to look brighter as well, as Iksan Fandi gave us hope with a well-placed shot. But our joy didn't last long as Al-Khalidi fired in a long-range free kick. Yui Young raised hopes as we managed to pull the scoreline back to 3-2 with 10 minutes left. But we could do nothing but watch as the clock ran down and Kuwait won. So the Asian Cup was over in disappointing fashion, though the FA and the supporters were delighted with our showing, as Australia went on to win the entire thing. However, despite our elimination, we would get the chance to compete for another trophy just 1 month later. And that's what we're going to check out now. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the FM23 competition. That's coming up a little bit later. Having won the AFF Cup, we had qualified for the AFF EAFF Champions Trophy. Try saying that 5 times fast. A super cup of sorts between the AFF winners and the East Asian champions, who in this case was South Korea. So yeah, South Korea, ranked 28th in the world, and with the squad boasting some of the top players in Asia. And with the game being played in South Korea, this looked like a tall order. However, as this one-off match was being played outside the normal international window, that meant South Korea could only select their players based in Asia, which meant no Son, no Yi Yong, no Kang In Lee. The same rule applied to us, but with most of our players based in Singapore, it wasn't a problem. So not wanting to sound overconfident again, but could there be the potential for us to pull off a shock here? We survived a couple of early scares, but could only hold on for so long. And somewhat inevitably, in the 36th minute, the K-Leaguers worked a smart free kick to create the space for Gustavo to head home at the far post and give the South Koreans the lead. We did rally though, as straight from the kickoff after that goal, we got the ball through to Song Yui Yong, who hit the post against his former countrymen. And here comes the beginning of the end of my time as Singapore boss. South Korea were just too quick on the break for our defence to cope, and it showed as after a corner for us went nowhere, they just went up the other end and Gustavo bagged a second. And moments later, South Korea were 3 up off a corner. Gustavo completed his hat-trick on the hour mark, rounding our keep-up all too easily, as did Sang-ho to complete the 5-0 rout, as South Korea lifted the trophy. And it was at this point I decided I'd done all I could with this Singapore team and tendered my resignation. The Singaporean FA were sad to see me go, and I was sad to see no other jobs available on the international scene. But patience paid off. By June of 2027, we spotted an interesting opportunity, one that would take us to another continent to take charge of a small nation with unrealized potential. And this is your chance to win a copy of FM23 thanks to our friends at Fanatical. Take a guess which nation we're going to be managing in the next episode down in the comments, and I will choose at random one of the people who gets the right answer, or the closest answer if nobody gets it right, and I'll reveal the winner right here on the channel this Sunday. So make sure you're watching to find out who we take over next.